Hey, it's Pat from PJM Scheduling Services. So let's say you want to create a time impact on your project. You are a contractor, you've experienced a delay, and you want to report that delay to the owner. Or maybe you're a subcontractor and you want to report that delay to the general contractor. So we're in Primavera P6, and I have I would refer to this as my June schedule update. So everything left of the data date is progress. Everything in the future, everything to the right of the data date line is future planned work. And so let's say that July has already occurred, and so we know what's happened in July, and we hit some bad weather in the middle of July, which is so rare. But let's say we were doing our foundation work, and there was a huge hurricane, and it delayed our project 10 days. We had to pump a bunch of water out. This might not be realistic for July, but hey, let's say where you're at, it happens. Maybe you're in Guam or something. I don't know. This foundation work got delayed 10 days. We want to report that to the owner. So how would I do that? So we take this is our June update. Let's make a copy of it. So I'm going to go to maintain baselines. Let's say add. We're going to save copy of the current project as a new baseline. So right now that makes a copy of it. Now let's assign it as a baseline. I like to use the primary baseline slot as my baseline for my baselines to compare to. Press OK, and then let's add some bars to show the pre-impacted schedule. So we've made a copy of this schedule file, assigned it as a baseline, and now I want to show the yellow bars to represent that previous schedule. And I like to format these bars so they're a little bit thicker there. So now let's see what we got here. Our original activities on top, our previous activities on the bottom are in yellow. So let's go ahead and add our impact. So I like to add a new section, a new WBS section. So let's add a new section here. I'll put it under milestone. It'll be a sister to the milestone section, and I'll call it delays and impacts. Maybe this is our first impact that we've experienced on the project. So maybe we'll call it TIA number 1 weather impacts. So let's go back to our activities. And so here we go. We got our WBS section for TIA number 1 weather impacts. So now we are going to add our delay event underneath this TIA number 1 WBS section that we just added. So I'll call it tsunami event, foundations impact. Real serious. And that was 10 work days. And so the question is, well, how do we show that it was an impact to foundations? And there's a few ways of doing it. Sometimes some people would just add 10 days to foundations, say, oh, that's 30 days instead of 20 days. But maybe we want to be a little more sophisticated than that, and maybe we want to add a new foundations activity, and we can say foundations pre-impact, and then foundations post-impact, or something like that. So maybe we achieved, 50% foundations work prior to the delay event occurring, and then we still had 10 days of foundations work after the event occurred. So these still add up to 20 days, which was our total duration. And so then I want this tsunami event to occur between those two. So what I do is I click on this pre-impact one, hold my control key down, this is my shortcut, and then I click in the sequence that I want the activities to occur, and then I right click and I say link those activities together. And when I reschedule it, you'll notice that we have the it goes foundations, then the tsunami, and then the foundations post-impacted work. And I just noticed here, because this isn't critical and it should be, and the reason for that is because I didn't tie it to the structure. So let's go ahead and tie that to the structure. Link those up. Okay, now this is looking better. So if I was to turn on my relationship lines, you'd notice that it goes from earthwork to the foundations pre-impacted, which is the work that we achieved prior to the impact. Then our tsunami event occurs, and then that goes back down to our foundation, our remaining foundations work, which pushes the rest of the path out. And so if I look now at our substantial completion, I can see that prior to the impact occurring, it was March 2nd was our substantial completion date, and that slipped to March 16th. So it was 14 days of impact. So it's really, once you're at this point, the hardest part is in your project, you need to figure out what's the pre-impacted schedule. So basically you have to get the approved schedule that had been submitted to the owner right before the delay event occurred. So in this case, because our delay event started in July 29th, the schedule update prior to that would have been our June update. So you wouldn't want to use a schedule file before June. You wouldn't want to use the baseline. Maybe your baseline schedule was months and months ago, and you don't want to use that file because there might have been delays between when the baseline data date was to where your current data date is, and so you would be attributing all of the delays that had occurred way back when to this tsunami event. So you want to use the appropriate pre-impacted schedule. So in this case, it's June. You develop your timeline of the delay event, and then you insert it into the copy of your schedule file. Compare it back to the pre-impacted schedule, and then you can see the delta between what you were scheduled to, when the project was going to finish prior to the delay event and then after the delay event. And if you want a little more detail on that, I walked through an example here. I wrote an article called "Delay Claim for a Contractor," and in the methodology for creating your impact, I go through it pretty detailed. But you create your timeline, choose the correct pre-impacted schedule, insert the delay into the pre-impacted schedule, consider any other concurrent delay events that might have occurred that would change whether it's a compensable delay or a not compensable delay, which I might talk about in a future video. And then if the delay impacted your contract milestone, well, then report the delay to the owner. And I give kind of an example down here of what I use as an outline for when I submit a time extension request to an owner of just, hey, I provide a summary of what happened, some background, how the methodology that I use to quantify the delays, and then just conclude, how much we're requesting. So that's a pretty, that's the simple version of how, if you are a contractor and you want to show the owner how you were delayed, that is a general idea of how I would go about doing it.